Welcome to Red Banner and Fitness 101. So the first thing we can do to get in a good nighttime routine is make time to read. A lot of experts agree, most of them in fact agree, that reading is the number one way that we can kind of transition from busy to starting to relax. So reading, whether you're reading the news, a blog, an educational something or other on business or nutrition, or just reading for pleasure, it's really important that we make time to read in order to transition from a busy day to a restful night. It calms your body down, it calms your mind down, and by putting it into a routine and making time for it throughout the day, we can make sure that we're getting the education that we need, or even just the time away from everything else. If you're reading for pleasure, or some book that's like a fictional story or something like that, it gives us time to unwind and kind of stop focusing on exactly what's going on in our lives, maybe some stresses, even just forgetting about goals, objectives, and roadblocks for a minute. Just getting into a frame of mind where you don't necessarily have to think about what's going on in the world. Or you could go the other way and read the news and get out of your own life and focus more on what's going on in the world. I mean, as long as that doesn't stress you out. I know watching the news, or reading the news for that matter, more often than not tends to stress us out a little bit more. But taking time to read really relaxes your body, relaxes your mind, and gives you time to kind of unwind and get in a different frame of mind and get ready for the next day. The next thing we have to do is make a to-do list. So making a to-do list takes all these thoughts going on in your brain. Oh, I have to do this, I have to do that, I got to do this, I got to do that. And the next day, it takes it all out of your brain and puts it on paper so you can stop thinking about it. So the idea here is that it's kind of out of your hands at that point. You don't have to think and marinate and obsess over what needs to be done the next day, week, month, or year. You can just write it on a paper and literally just put it out of your mind, and that really helps take your brain out of go mode into a restful, relaxed frame of mind. The next thing we can do to unwind and get a good night's sleep is spending time with family. Now, if you don't have kids or a significant other, that's okay. You can call somebody on the phone, one of your friends on the phone. You can play with your dog, play with your cat, get a fish and stare at your fish for 10 minutes. It doesn't really matter what you're doing. It's the same theory behind making a to-do list, is you're kind of letting yourself, your focuses shift from what you have to do or even how your day went, and you're focusing on other people or other things. You're focusing on your fish bubbles. Hey, fish bubbles, did you get enough food today? Are you enjoying the little Christmas tree that I bought you and put in your tank? I mean, you can get out of your own head just long enough to let yourself kind of recover and reset, get in a really positive state of mind, and transition into a really relaxed, positive, focused state so you can go to bed and get a good night's sleep. Now, number 4 is reflecting on your day. So we should already be in this habit. Basically what we're doing is going over a win list or a gratitude journal, as they refer to it here. So what this does is it keeps you focused on the positive things in your day and lets the negative things kind of go by the wayside. Keeping a win list or a gratitude journal is a great way to stay motivated and stay positive, because you're constantly focusing on the things that are important, the positive things, the good things, the things that you're thankful for, even if it's a warm pair of socks or a fresh t-shirt in the morning. Anything that you can list out and be grateful for, that's going to keep you all the more motivated and all the more positive as you're ending your day. Next on the list is meditate. I don't want you to feel like you have to get into a crisscross applesauce on the floor with your hands resting on your knees and get into a really transcendental meditative state. All this is really saying is just focusing on where you're at now, focusing on your goals, really calming down, especially physically and mentally, and just really focusing on the positive things. Focus on your win list, your gratitude journal. Really meditate on the things that you want out of life. Meditate on the things that you've done today to get there, the things you need to do tomorrow to get there. Just calm down, relax. Don't let anything, don't let any music or radio or TV or anything get in the way of this time. Just sit quietly, meditate, think about the things that you're grateful for, think about your win list, think about what you have to do the next day, and really just meditate and calm down and just allow yourself to relax for 10 or 15 minutes. Now, most of your day, if you're like me, is already planned out. You have meetings to go to, you pick up the kids at 9 o'clock, you have to call your wife here, you got to go there, go grocery shopping, everything's planned out. But when it comes down to one of the most important aspects of your day is your sleep, because that determines how the rest of your day is going to go, people they forget to plan that out. So what we want to do this week is set a bedtime for yourself. A bedtime and a wake time. Allow yourself hopefully between 7 and 9 hours of sleep, but actually plan that in and hold yourself to that plan. It's not good enough to say, oh, okay, I'm going to get 8 hours of sleep tonight. Okay, how are you going to do that? What time do you need to start your evening routine in order to go to bed at 9 o'clock and wake up at 5 o'clock? So it's really important that you plan out your sleep along with your meetings and everything else that goes on in your life. Make time for nutrition and exercise, but also make time for your sleep. You have to plan out, I'm going to go to bed at this time, I'm going to wake up at this time, and nothing else is going to interfere with that. I'm going to turn my phone off at 8:45, I'm going to meditate for 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'm going to go to sleep. I'll be asleep at 9. This next one is super important, is unplugging and disconnecting from work. Like I said, turning off your phone, or putting it on silent, putting it away where you don't have to think about work anymore. This is especially important if you're kind of in one of those jobs where it's high stress or you're always kind of on call. I mean, obviously everybody's situation is going to be a little bit different, but do something to unplug and disconnect from work. Like I said with the to-do list, once you get these things out of your head and onto paper, it's time to stop worrying about that. So if you can, turn your phone off or put it on silent and just kind of unwind and disconnect from work so you don't have to worry about that anymore. This is your time to go to sleep. It's your time to meditate and read and hang out with your family. So not having work interfere with that is crucial in the process of just unwinding, relaxing, and getting a good night's sleep and waking up with a lot of energy in the next day. And the next step in the process is lying down on a positive note. This goes hand in hand with meditating and reflecting on your gratitude journal or your win list. When you go to bed, don't think about things that you could have done better or that somebody did that irritated you. This is your time to be positive. Go to bed on a positive note. To reflect on your win list, on your gratitude journal, and really go to bed on a positive note so you can wake up positive. A lot of times when you go to sleep on a sour note, you'll wake up in the same mood, and then you just kind of repeat that process day after day. So make sure that you take the time to meditate on that win list or your gratitude journal. Be thankful for the things that you have, and go to bed on a really positive note and visualize tomorrow's success. We'll talk about that a little bit more as we get into the law of attraction. But suffice it to say that going to bed and focusing on being successful tomorrow and what you're going to do and everything, all the wins that you're going to have tomorrow and next week, it plays a huge role in your outlook and how you wake up in the morning, therefore how the next day is going to go. So make sure when you're lying down to go to sleep that it's on a positive note.